Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our time together. I'm Lori Lamantia, and I'm here with the magical Trisha Fisk.
Good morning, everybody.
And today we're doing our next step in the Conscious Creating Through Yoga program, which is called Align. It's the opportunity to align and raise your vibration so that you are in as much of a cohesive, coherent state with that awakened part of yourself. And as we raise and align to our most highest divine selves, it makes the things that we decide we want to create and allow happen in a gracious, kind way. It's so you're not working at it so hard. Alignment allows your creations to flow so much more easily. And so today we're going to talk about the energy of alignment and the intention to align to your highest and best and most amazing creative self as part of this five-step process that we're calling conscious creating through yoga. And so I'm going to turn it over to Trisha so she can give you her definition of align, because of course we all feel it differently. And so I'd like for her to do that, if you would, please.
Sure. Yeah, so for me, it is the taking the time to sit, to pay attention to my physical body first, then my breathing. That's always a easy way to internalize and get focused. Just pay attention to your breathing. And, when we talk about this stuff, it's it's not that, oh, all of a sudden my breathing is perfect and my mind's 100% attentive. It's like we start to pay attention to when I'm not doing that. Again, it's so that I keep I'm making the decision to come back to my breath, to come back to watching my mind and notice where does it run off to, and then bring it back. So it's like this constant aligning of your breath, your body, and your mind over and over again with the expectation that it's going to move around or it's going to get distracted, but you keep bringing it back. And one of the things in the book it talks about is having a space, having your own space for this. And I think that's a really big thing with me. I noticed from the time I first started meditating that to do it in a familiar setting, it's like the space you're in becomes charged with your intention. And yeah, and when you walk into that space, it gets, you get to that feeling of awareness of alignment more quickly just because, oh, this is my space. This is where I do this. So it's like training yourself to get started just by walking in the room. It's really pretty magical. Um, when you do that, it's pretty magical. So it's getting, you want to get yourself stable. And in terms of yoga poses, I would think of mountain pose, just Tadasana, just standing and starting at the feet and feeling, feeling sensation all the way from the feet up the body out through the crown of your head. Or if you're more comfortable seated, sitting in a cross-legged position, and same thing, just doing that body scan all the way through. Notice where you are physically, check in with your breath, do the mind thing, and keep coming back to, I think a lot of people have the idea that if the mind starts to wander, I've lost it. And it's the opposite. It means you're paying attention. If your mind starts to wander and you're seeing it, it means you're present and you're paying attention. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I do think, when I do my alignment, I will go and start my heart and feel grateful and feel my heart vibration expand. And then I let that expansion move down into my pelvic floor and then through the soles of the feet and down into the earth. So I feel grounded, so that there is some connection to the earth, and then letting that energy flow back up through the chakra system, through the heart, and like you said, to the crown of your head. And then for some of us, we can even go, raise your vibration higher and higher and higher. But all you need to do is make the command, I choose to remember my divine self and align to it and let yourself expand and then let go, and it will meet you as you meet it, and it becomes one. There's a one, a alignment or enlightenment that happens. What it feels like to me is I just feel so expanded, and then the grace starts to flow, and everybody's so different, but that intention to be present and aligned with the life force is, I feel, a big part of what alignment is. And having that sacred space totally supports the remembering and making it easier and easier so that it's not an effortful thing. It becomes just like a muscle. And with practice, it's like Shazam. You know, Shazam, align, boom, done. It starts to become that clear, and when you're not aligned, and then and it feels like joy to me too. Alignment feels like joy, feels like peace, feels like when I walk in nature, when I pet my pup. To me, that feels like alignment. I don't want this to be too esoteric. I mean, it's a real physical experience of joyfulness or effortlessness.
I would say, yeah. And for me, again, because of the yoga piece, the feeling of sensation is important. I know that I never used to pay attention to that as much. I used to focus more on just my mind. But now it's very much a physical sense where I really start to feel the edges of my body melt and disappear. And I start to feel like energy. And that lets me know that I'm there. I'm there. I'm in this unified field. Um, and then yeah, and then that just makes the whole experience easier. It's like I know I'm here, so now let's just be curious about what comes up. I think, a long time ago, when I first started doing yoga, I had the expectation that at some point my mind was I was just gonna stop thinking, and I was just gonna be in this sacred space like all the time. And I've learned not so much that, that it's developing a muscle, that you have to find your way in and just keep practicing with that. And I want to say too that the importance of the element of surprise, and we talk about that a lot too, because again, if it's my mind setting the experience, it's going to be limited and it's going to be only what I already know.
Mhm, mhm.
Whereas when if I really allow myself to open up and be surprised, that's how the new stuff that's how the new stuff comes in.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, I feel this, and of course, this is something I'm really been working to remember, is that we are always divine. We are always in that perfect, that we are that piece of us can never go away. It seems like we forget, and that's why we're realigning or
Right.
reawakening. And it's our mind that keeps grabbing us and going, no, you're not, no, you're not. And it's like, thank you for sharing, give it a pat on the head and tuttle away, tuttle to the back, because aligning is remembering, affirming your divine, amazing creativeness,
Mhm.
that glory power piece of you, that part that never walked away. It's just kind of get, okay, well, you're distracted for a while. I'll wait. I'm
Right.
here. I'm
Right.
waiting, I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm always here. That divinity is always there. And I'm just going to tell a quick story. So, I've talked about this before. I go to the dentist to get nitrous oxide, I call it the gas. And this week I went for the gas and I was so excited to get my teeth cleaned. And I have pearly whites, of course, and that's element of surprise, like you were saying. I just was like, I'm just going to align, I'm just going to allow whatever that beautiful experience to come through. And doggone it, the REO Speedwagon, my dentist place, he's got like the regular radio station on. REO Speedwagon comes on. I just want to keep on loving you. Ooh. And I started crying. I'm like crying in the gas. My dentist is like, my tears are drizzling down my face. And I'm like, that's the divine going, keep on loving you. And it was so beautiful. And of course, those are those moments that you just cherish so much and appreciate. And that's alignment, and they're not always that profound. A lot of times I'm sitting and I look at my stuffed animal, one of my stuffed animals, and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. So you never know, but what I'm trying to point out is there are moments of alignment. And the more we notice them, the more they become, you kind of go, oh, I know what alignment feels like. That's what I'm going for. The sweetness, the joy, the allowing of life to do its thing while I, gently bring myself back there. That's
Yes.
what you're saying, which I so appreciate, is that presence to not be to see the distraction or to see the mind move and then bring myself back to my glorious, present moment, which is available.
Yes. So, and I want to share a story too. So, I have been interested in using my yoga more in the mental health industry and also working with teachers who talk about as educators, um, needing more techniques to help them cope with how much the landscape has changed since COVID in the classroom because these kids were at home for a
Mhm.
year on Zoom. And coming back is challenging for everybody. And one of the other teachers I talked to talks about how this, um, the kids who have never experienced life without a cell phone
Right.
on and stuff like that. So anyway, I got the idea to apply for a grant, to get a grant to help move my ideas along. Um, since going to a yoga studio, it what hasn't been working out for the direction I want to go in.
Mhm.
So I met with a grant writer. I just happened to meet someone at a friend's house having dinner over the
You
4th of
just
July.
happen to meet, which is
Yeah,
of
right,
course,
right, right,
that's your creation showing up and saying,
right,
"I'm here for you,"
right.
and it's the divine everything going. Here you go. Here's some money. Here's somebody who can help you get some money. It wasn't an
I,
accident. This is the beauty of creation.
well, and so I met with her yesterday and started throwing out my ideas to her, expecting, okay, well, let's see what we could do. And instead, I got full on enthusiasm and excitement and absolutely, and let's go for it. And can I be part of it? And I'll
uh,
write the grant for you. And I mean,
uh,
it just was
mm,
such a gift. I had the biggest smile on my face
right,
when I walked out of there. Like, again, totally surprised. I was expecting an okay, maybe kind of a thing. And instead,
right.
I got a full on, let's go for it. And
Yes.
yes, so
Yeah.
yeah, this stuff, right,
It,
can surprise us
yes.
if we're open to letting ourselves be surprised.
Yeah. And we've been practicing aligning for a long time. And it's that constant bringing back. And it's one of the reasons why I think we wanted to do this conscious creating program because we're not always aligned, and that's okay. But becoming conscious of when we are and conscious as to what brings us there And, walking through life as aligned a place as we can be, that's a beautiful practice. And, one of my teachers said, I just go around blessing everything. I bless the mailbox. I bless the squirrel I see, always be blessing is kind of a fun way to get aligned. But everybody knows their tools, and this is one of the journal questions I would ask is, what are the tools that bring you into alignment? Start to notice and pay attention to the things that and for me, sometimes it's that first morning cup of coffee. Ooh, that is a very aligning experience, and don't let it be so huge, like I'm in the gas and, I just want to keep on loving you. There's big things and there's little beautiful nugget things that just touch your heart. And start noticing those, and you'll start to feel your alignment happening. But alignment is a muscle, it's a step, but it's one of the most beautiful things you can do for yourself as a part of being a conscious creator.
Absolutely. And so I'd like to share from the book this writing by Saint Simeon, the new theologian. What is this wondrous mystery? What is this wondrous mystery unfolding within me? I have no words to name it, for that one is above all praise, transcends all words. My reason sees what has happened, wishes to explain, yet can find no words to tell you. What it sees is invisible, simple, pure, unbounded in its majesty. I have seen the totality, received not in essence, but by participation, as when you light a flame from a flame, the whole flame you receive. That says it perfectly.
So perfectly. That is alignment. Let your flame be part of the flame that's lit. And there are no words to describe alignment because it's different for everybody.
Exactly.
So that's our encouragement this week, is to notice when you feel like, ooh, is it a little bubbly, a little, whatever words you want to use, where you just feel in your heart. The alignment feels to me when you're in your heart and just grace is flowing and you're present and you're noticing your breath. And, creating a sacred space might be a good idea so that it's a little easier to click into. But this is a muscle you're going to develop. It's a practice you're going to develop as being a conscious creator. Use your yoga practice. Yoga is an amazing way to get aligned if, when done with that felt sense of presence. And I think that's our love encouragement to you this week is spend the time giving yourself that aligned experience as much as you can.
Yes. And even if it's only for 2 minutes, but do it throughout the day. Go back and do it again and do it again and do it again. Just remind yourself to connect. It's like plugging yourself in. You're plugging yourself into your physical body, your heart, your mind, your breath, and just see where it goes.
Right. One of my favorite teachers says, you're the toaster. You got to plug your toaster into the outlet. Otherwise, you can't toast. Alignment is plugging your toaster, your beautiful toaster self into the great unlimited whoosh that we
That's
call
great. I
divine.
love that.
Okay,
Plug your
everyone.
toaster in.
And enjoy. Have a wonderful day, everyone. We'll see you next
Thank
week.
you.
And don't
Bye.
forget, go on Amazon and pick up your Conscious Creating Through Yoga.
And start journaling. Yes.
Love you guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.